thank you so much for being on the program, Tom. We really appreciate it, and just had to have a little breaking news there. It must be exciting for you to watch Trump do those kind of deals and work like that behind the scenes. Sometimes you don't get to see it in public. That was kind of remarkable.
I see a lot. I'm with President Trump an awful lot, and look, President Trump's a badass president. I mean, there's no one can compare to him, and I've said many times, not afraid to say it. He's the greatest president in my lifetime. He's proven it. When it comes to border security, unprecedented success. The economy, unprecedented success. So look, this is typical Trump. I've been with him many times. He'll broker a deal within 30 seconds and usually come out on top.
Have you watched him do this with Northern Triangle state leaders? He's been pushing pretty hard on tariffs for Mexico, and it was amazing. Just like overnight, you hear the Mexican president say, wait a second, no more migrant caravans. It seems to work.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I remember when we did a Operation Matador in New York City, we arrested just short of 500 gang members, most of them MS-13. On the way back to Air Force One, President Trump said, all right, we got all these gang members. How quick can you get them out? And I said, it's going to take a while because El Salvador pushes back on taking people back, especially criminals. This has been going on for at least 2 decades. President Trump said, well, let me address that. In 48 hours, I got a phone call. How many planes can you fill full of MS-13 members? Fill them and get them south because they're going to take them. So he had a conversation with El Salvador. He said, you're going to take these people. I'll take every dollar of international aid away from you. He got the 3 Central American countries, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, to agree to safe third country. He got Mexico to agree to remain in Mexico and put 10,000 military troops on the northern and southern border. All these countries said no when he first asked them, but he quickly got them to yes within days. So look, he's putting America first. He's not taking no for an answer.
And I know that you are so unbelievably close with the president, and obviously you're one of the first appointments that he made, and to your great honor and credit to your work here as border czar in the first administration, and then moving through quickly, hopefully, into 2025. What policy would you like to see enforced with Mexico and with our southern border? What would a dream southern border look like for Tom Homan?
Remain in Mexico was a game changer. Remain in Mexico. That moved illegal immigration to a 45-year low. It moved immigration down 90%. And that was tremendous. And we need to get that back in place. I'm sure President Trump's already having discussions with the president of Mexico. If not, I won't be deeply involved with those discussions with officials in Mexico. We've done it before. We'll do it again. Also, end catch and release. We got to end catch and release because when people know they're going to cross the border, which is a crime, get released in the United States, many not to show up in immigration court ever, they're going to keep coming. And the statute clearly says, the federal law says, when you enter the country illegally without proper documentation, you shall be detained. That's what the word is, shall. Not maybe, not think about it, shall. So we're going to end catch and release day one. We'll get the remaining Metro program back in. We're going to continue building the wall because the wall works. And we'll put the third safe country agreements back into place. We're going to brush off the plan we did back in the first Trump administration, add a few more things, and we'll secure the border at a record level, even better than we did in the first administration. We're going to finish the job this time.
I don't think that world leaders will be your problem. I really don't. I think that world leaders will fall into place like dominoes. I think that actually your main problem, Mr. Homan, will be American political leaders. J.B. Pritzker of Illinois made some news here with a headline. He says, if you come for my people, you're going to have to get through me. I was wondering if you could, this is a direct message to you, Mr. Homan. Could you respond to this?
Game on. Game on. First of all, President Trump's been pretty clear, and I've been pretty clear, that we're going to prioritize public safety threats and national security threats right out of the gate. I can't believe you got any governor, any mayor saying they don't want public safety threats and national security threats out of their community. That's their number one responsibility, is protection of the community. But they obviously hate Trump more than they love their community. But look, don't help me. That's fine with that. Get out of the way. Get the hell out of the way, because we're going to do it. If that means I got to send twice as many resources to your city, that's what I'll do. Because here's what I need to understand. If they let me into the jail, right? Sanctuary city means they won't let us into the jail. Law enforcement can't work with us. Let me into the jail where you already arrested the bad guy and locked him up in a jail cell. That's the guy I want to talk to. But because you won't let me in that jail, because you won't let law enforcement give me that person, what's going to happen? We're going to go to the community and find him after you release him, and we will find him. And when we find them, we're going to find them with others. Others are probably aren't a priority arrest, but guess what? They are now because you're standing in front of us. So your actions are going to result in more arrests than you can imagine. More arrests of non-priority aliens because you forced me in that position. I'm good with that. I'm not sure they're going to be good with it. Well, understand your actions are refusing for let law enforcement work for law enforcement is going to result in more arrests. I'm good with that.
There was a pretty famous line that you said about the Denver mayor who also made a similar claim, saying, I'm willing to go to jail. And you said, well, I'm happy to put you there for interfering with law enforcement. Seems like there might be some blue on blue potential conflicts here. He says, I'm going to use the Denver police to stop Tom Homan. How are you going to deal with that, Tom?
I don't think the Denver police will do it. I think the Denver police are going to step aside and let us do our job. Because look, I've been clear. I'm not fooling around. There are federal statutes that clearly say if you knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from ICE officials, from immigration officers, that's a felony. Impeding federal law enforcement officers' performance of those duties, it's a felony. So try me. I mean, Mayor of Chicago said that Governor Pritzker said the other day, I don't think Homan has the authority. He's a border czar. What is that? Well, I'm a senior advisor to the President of the United States. So I certainly think I have the authority to do what I need to do. And look, I'm not going to be prosecuting the case. The U.S. Attorney will prosecute the case. And who's going to be the Attorney General? Well, let's think a minute. Pam Bondi. You don't think she'll prosecute these cases? She absolutely will. Who's going to run the FBI? Kash Patel. You don't think he's going to be involved in the investigation? So look, this is not a threat. Or maybe it is. Bottom line is there's statutes on the books that we will enforce. There is no reason you should not want public safety threats removed from your communities. So, we're going to go do it. And I hope they don't cross that line. I don't want blue on blue. I don't want blue on red. But let us do our job. Because we're going, and I'd like to remind them, ICE isn't making this up. ICE is enforcing the laws enacted and created by Congress, signed by the president. We're not making this up. So Governor Pritzker, you don't like what we're doing? Go to Congress and change the law. Until then, we're going to enforce the law without apology. President Trump has a mandate for the American people. We're going to have the biggest deportation operation this country's ever seen. And I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not running a popularity contest. I'm going to do the job, and you can't stop me.
As you're speaking here, Mr. Homan, everything I want, virtually every single quote I want to put on a T-shirt, right? Like I'm gonna do the job and you can't stop me. It's freaking great. It's like a slogan from like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from the '80s. Is there criminal liability for these mayors and governors? It does seem like they would be interfering with federal authorities. It does seem like that's the true insurrection. I mean, am I not wrong Am I not wrong that definitionally insurrecting would be using law enforcement to fight the federal government from lawfully enforcing the rules of this country? Wouldn't that be considered an insurrection?
I don't know, but it's a felony. A felony we will prosecute. And look, there's a lot of hate out there right now. I mean, I got death threats against me and my family, and because I'm going to do the job that Congress has required us to do. They enacted the laws for us to enforce. They budget us to do this job. We're going to do it. But people need to understand, I'm not going to be bullied. I'm not going to be manipulated. I'm not going away. I'm not going to be silenced. We're going to do this job. And again, don't cross the line. I would ask the mayor of Chicago, Governor Pritzker, simply read the statute. Read 18 U.S.C. 111. Read 1324 III. Read them. I mean, I'm not an attorney. But I know how to read. I think they know how to read too. Just read the statute and you decide if you're going to cross that line or instruct anybody else to cross that line, because we're going to get this job done. We're the biggest national security threat this nation's ever had. The southern border with 2.2 million gotaways, but even some of the ones they arrested and released that weren't properly vetted, that came back hot after they released them, that they were on the list, the terrorist watch list. Biggest national security vulnerability in my lifetime. Even the FBI director, who I have zero respect in, even he agrees with me. Biggest national security vulnerability in the history of this nation. More red flags never seen before. And you, as an elected governor, elected mayor, want to stop me from removing public safety threats and national security threats from your communities? It's insulting at every level. Look, the New York City Mayor Eric Adams brought me to the table, and he sees his job as a mayor. Plus, that when I sat down with him, I quickly saw a career cop come out on him because he is a career cop. He understands public safety threats should not be walking our neighborhoods. So he's stepping up. I'm hoping other mayors and governors step up. Hoping it create a domino effect that people start reading the statutes, start talk to your constituents, for God's sake. The mayor of Chicago should talk to his constituents. He has the lowest rating in the history of any mayor in the history of the United States ever. I think he's got like a 21% approval rating now. So look, read the statute, be advised, we're coming. You're not going to stop us.
We have actually a photo here of you with the mayor of New York, Eric Adams. He said he's going to shut down migrant hotels. He says he's going to work with your office. He says that they're going to increase law enforcement. I mean, what a massive win. You're not even in office yet, sir. And what an incredible win for the American people. It's not red or blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. These are wins for public safety. New York has fallen into many parts of New York. I was shocked when I was there recently, sunken into third world conditions.
Oh, look, it's incredible that a retired career law enforcement officer and mayor of the biggest city in the nation wants my law enforcement officers to go into Rikers Island, where the bad guys are at. Wow. So when they release them, we get them. It's amazing that he wants law enforcement working law enforcement. It's just incredible. I mean, every mayor should be doing this. You're exactly right.
I have one more question that has to do with the general New York region and a lot of mysterious sightings of drones in the sky. It's obviously a national security threat. You are the most concerned about national security of any public official I've ever met. I want to get your take on this. Many people are saying that these are government drones, that they're looking potentially for some type of either radioactive material or dangerous or hazardous material, and that this may be something that could really cause some real damage or threat to the American public. Do you have any take on these drones or lights that we're seeing about New Jersey, and any information for our viewers about what's happening?
Look, I obviously think they're a national security threat, especially because we don't know what they are, and this proves that this administration is incompetent. The Secretary of Homeland Security, what has he done about it? What has the White House done about this? I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, we know for a fact that we got enemies all over this world wanting to destroy this nation. We got over 46,000 Chinese males, military aides across the border, nearly 20,000 Russians. Iran is looking to start a war with us. This is a huge national security vulnerability. They shouldn't be flying around. They're doing the same thing they did with spy balloon. This administration is incompetent. So I can't wait till President Trump gets in office. I guarantee you when President Trump gets in office, they're not going to be flying around. They're going to be blown out of the sky. So God help us. We got to hold out to January 20th. Then I think America is going to see the greatest president in the history of this nation come back for a second term, make his country safe again, and make our cities safe again. And President Trump, you saw President Trump on stage there. It's one thing me and President Trump have in common. Neither one of us are waiting for January 20th. I've already been to Texas working with the governor. I've been on the border 3 times since they announced me 3 weeks ago. I've been on the border 3 times more than the old border czar was. I've met with hundreds of sheriffs across the nation, National Sheriff's Association, about our plans going forward. I went to New York City. I'm taking off today to Florida to meet with some other mayors. So look, bottom line is, game on. We're not waiting till January 20th. The game's on right now. We're going to push it. We're going to push it and get this work done. We're going to make America great again. We're going to make American communities safe again. We're going to make the border secure, the securest border you've ever seen. And when we do that, when we do this, secure the border and have this deportation operations, fentanyl deaths will decrease. Migrant crime in the United States will decrease. Sex trafficking of women and children across that border will decrease. And the cartels are going to make a hell of a lot more money. And President Trump's going to designate them a terrorist organization and wipe them off the face of the earth. So game on.
Game on. In closing, any parting words for the outgoing border czar? Who was that? Oh yes, Kamala Harris. Any words, sir, since you are taking her job?
I'd like to thank her because I can't do anything but succeed because I'm following massive failure. I can't lose.
We say Godspeed, Mr. Borderzar. We say Godspeed. You're one of the real ones. Everyone follow Tom Homan. He's got 500,000 followers on X, but it's important to make sure that he has as much power to tell the true story about what's happening in this country so he can secure this nation. He's an absolute G. Everyone said that the rumors are that he comes from Scottish royalty, that he comes from like the old raiding parties of the Norse, and that he's either a time traveler or a direct descendant of that, and like a Braveheart level, like actual a brawler. And we think that's
Benny,
true. Probably, we think that's true.
One thing I want to add for you. So I appreciate you can follow me at Real Tom Homan. There is somebody. It's Tom Homan Borders are. It's some sort of, what do you call those fake accounts? Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm the real Tom Homan is at Real Tom Homan. I don't know who the Tom Homan Borders are guy is, but if you want to follow me, make sure you follow the right guy.
The account's up on screen. That's the authentic account. It's verified, and it'll soon have that little government badge right next to it, so you'll know exactly where it is. Please follow the absolute legend, Tom Homan, and support his work. This is how we win. Godspeed, sir.
Thanks for having me.